All right, guys, and we're back.
We are back
for another episode of the Equestrian Adult Amateur. And if you guys didn't know, I am your host, Kelly.
And I am your other host, Alexis.
And we are the queens of adult amateurs, or at least we've labeled ourselves as that.
People are going to hate you for saying
that. And that's fine. I'm good with it. Honestly, I think it's so funny. Over the past couple weeks, we have gotten so much attention. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for that. And today's going to be a fun episode because we're going to talk about not only some of the things that people addressed in some of the comments. We're going to read some of the comments. A lot of comments.
A lot to sift through.
Yeah.
A lot of emotion.
And honestly, I can't say it's the first time I've been on the bad side of the social medias, but but I'm here for it. Alexis was not so much of a fan.
I don't like drama.
Yeah. I'm the spicy one for sure. I'm like, let's go. Let's bring it on.
I'm like, we just need to be nice and keep our head down.
Oh, did you say that?
Okay, well, at first I was like, let's rage. And then I was like, okay, but this is also...
Yeah.
We need to be nice.
We need to be kind. And the thing about the adult amateur community, I think, is it is a community. That is for sure. Sometimes it turns its back on you, and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes you make friends and everybody supports each other, and then sometimes you say one thing or label your podcast to the wrong title,
or
you're ruined.
You just label it as a question mark with a question mark, not even a statement. It's just a question mark, and people get really upset,
really pissed.
But I think let's kind of dive into some of the things before we get into the comments. Let's dive into some of the things that people brought to our attention.
Yes.
And I think the number one thing that people are so mad about is they hate that the adult amateur gets coined or labeled as the inept, like drunk, late, not horse educated type of person. And I kind of just also want to talk about my skits that I do because those are what I think a lot of people also are like, oh, like we're not all dumb and inept and it's the skits, I think. Yeah. And the thing is like, I think a majority are that. Like, I do think that majority of adult amateurs are that character, whether you want to believe it or not.
Oh.
Because I think that and everyone's like, well, where do you get inspiration for your videos? I'm like, myself. 100% myself. I've pretty much everything that I've ever said, maybe not everything.
It's a little dramatized.
It's satirical, right?
Yeah.
It's dramatized. It's satirical, all of those things. But the core of it is, I mean, I have definitely
real situations.
Yeah, definitely have talked about my horse's hay. I definitely have gotten horse show nerves. I definitely have, said things in certain situations. Like if you're out, like the most recent one I did one at Wellington where I was sitting in the stands and it was just so funny.
Yeah.
Where
that's when my mom was like, Kelly, she was being mean. She did not. Satire is not, everyone doesn't get satire. Okay?
No.
Especially not my mom.
I just think it's so funny because either like I have been in a situation like that where I was next to someone and you were at some like Olympic event or like Grand Prix or something amazing. And they're like, well, I could have done this. Like, it's just like the 50-year-old man or 40-year-old man that like thinks he like could have made college ball, but he like tore his ACL.
Yeah. He's like, I could have been in the NFL.
Like back in my day, like I threw that pigskin and I was going to be drafted and blah, blah, blah. Like it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that person or that character gets talked about all the time and made fun of, put into scripts and movies and like, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And that is a real thing that like really happens. And so, it's dramatized and it's satirical, but it's still real. And
I think, it is real. Sorry to interrupt you. But I do think that like people, we did get some comments that was like, it's obviously, a skit. It's very office vibes, which is what you were going for with the entire thing was to make it like office. Mm-hmm. And to be satirical. But I think what a lot of people like don't really get is that you're not just that character.
Yeah.
And you may get a lot of inspiration like from yourself.
Yeah.
But also like you have your horses at home. You take care of them. You feed them. You call the vet when the vet needs to be called. Like you're a very educated horse person at the same time.
For sure.
And like who you are in a skit or like what you portray in this podcast or what we portray like out there does not like mean that's who you are as a person.
Yeah. And I think that that's so true. Like, and maybe I should have been an actress in like another life or something.
Yes.
But, you know, it was so funny over the weekend we were FaceTiming and I had a huge pile of footing delivered and I
was like, people need to see this.
Yeah. I have I think it's like a 1960 or 1950 tractor that
like rusted up, scariest thing.
Yeah. Like no one believes it even runs. And so we bought it when I first moved to my farm for like $4,000 or something. And
it's kind of a lot for that thing.
Yeah, well, it was like newer back then, but we've had it for like 12 years. And so
newer.
Well, you know.
Like a death trap.
And I was like hellbound and determined to like spread it myself, you know? And I think it's just so funny. That's why I guess I can detach from it because I know I'm so not that person. But like I also am an adult amateur where, you know, I do get obsessive and call you 1,000 times talking about like whatever situation is going on with my animals, you know, whether it's
everybody does.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
They call their best friend and then they like discuss it or like, no, maybe they're not like literally calling their trainer every 5 seconds to be like, oh my God, I just like think he coughed wrong and I just I don't think that that's necessarily what's happening, but like we're making a joke out of it. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But yes, we also know that amateurs out there are very serious, that they jump the meter 30.
Yeah, like, but like honestly,
they do all the things.
Yeah, like who gives a shit? Like I don't feel like if you do that and that's awesome. Like I think that's so great, but like you not being able to like laugh at a skit or like laugh at something doesn't make you any better. Like it doesn't make you a better rider, a better person. Like, and if you were just going to like tear people down because like they want to bring light and like bring the community together, then, and you're just gonna like shit on that person and make fun of them and think that like they are that person. I mean, like that's on you, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you want to be like, I don't really care that like, cool, you jump 1.30 m. Like, I don't care. Like, that doesn't make you any better or
very spicy today.
Well, it just like, yeah, like I don't care. And I don't think it's right that you are tearing someone else down and saying unkind things because you're insecure about what you're doing. And so just laugh, man. Like it's not that serious. Like we're all jumping furry animals over sticks. Like it's not that serious. Why can't we all just support each other? I jumped the 2.6, you jumped the 1.30 m. That's great. Like that's amazing. I would rather like
we all have our place in the sport, but like we should all, in my opinion, we should all be very supportive of one another. You know, even if you have another podcast out there that's like making some content that you don't necessarily agree with, like we're all out here doing our best in whatever version that is. And whether or not you don't like the humor, you do like the humor, you think that we're not serious, you think that we are serious, like, whatever your opinion is, like we're all out here doing our best and we're all out here doing our own version of what we feel like is the best. And to just, as a community, not support one another, it was like really shocking to me.
Yeah.
Really
and
shocking.
It's so
really
funny
sad.
Because like the thing that I find, like I think each and every one of these people that had a negative vibe with the entire podcast or the entire show or the skits or like whatever, I think that they have a false sense of maybe like their journey and their struggles, because if you're telling me that you've never gotten horse show nerves, had a glass of wine, if you didn't call your best friend and vented, if you thought, oh my God, maybe those jumps are a little big, or maybe like, oh, maybe my trainer should ride it, maybe I should do, like, you're lying. Like,
well, it happens, but maybe it's not as dramatic as like, you know, the skits or whatever portray, but like that's why it's satirical on purpose. It's 100% for fun. We've all had those thoughts, whether or not we share them or not. And like, I don't need to personally feel like I have like this super tough exterior and be like, oh, I don't have any of those thoughts. Like I'm the most badass amateur, like, you know, whatever. I can do all these things and not have any of these thoughts. Like, that's just super unrealistic.
It's unrealistic, and I think it's hypocritical. I think that you're being a huge hypocrite to say, like, you can't laugh at a piece of content, instead you want to tear the other person down, and yet, like, you do those things, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think, like, I don't believe you that you don't.
I also think,
No, because every amateur does.
Yeah. I'm just a little worried and like maybe concerned because I'm like, where is it coming from? Like, where does this like insecurity that amateurs are inept or whatever, like, where does that come from? Because I don't feel inept. Like, even though I'm like, hey, like, oh my God, I'm nervous, or I can't believe, like, you know, I was just at a horse show this weekend and I was like, oh my God, is that the 3.6? And, you know, one of the girls was like, no, it's a 3.3. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's huge. I can't believe I used to do that. I would never do that again.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because I'm having those thoughts doesn't make me inept.
Well,
like,
and I think inept is a terrible word, because we're going to talk about that for some reason people kept saying that. People kept saying inept. And
inept and narrative, those two words are.
Yeah, I don't really know why people have come up with that word, because I firmly believe that the skits don't like
it
show
has no
that.
effect. Like,
I don't feel like the podcast had anything to do with being an inept amateur.
Like, just because I want my trainer, like, just because I get nervous at a horse show and I want my trainer to get on my horse first does not mean I'm inept.
Yeah.
Like, it does not equate to the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm nervous and yeah, I want her to get on, but that doesn't make me inept. That makes me thinking clearly and smarter and wanting to go in my class when I do go into my class and be more successful. That's just using my brain for success.
Well, right. That's just like being a smart human being.
Yeah.
And like, I think that, you know, two things can exist at the same time. You know, I can have my horses at the farm, have them in my full care all the time, move the M10, be on the tractor, do the hay, like, do all the things. But I can also get nervous at a horse show and want my trainer to ride.
Yeah.
Like, those two things,
they're not one and the same.
Yeah. Like,
they live simultaneously.
They can exist at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I find it frustrating that, you know, there's a blanket statement of like, well, amateurs, you know, either you're an inept amateur or you're like super hardcore. Like, if you're so hard, then just like be a professional. If you want to be so hardcore and like you're out there chasing points and you're out there just like looking down on other amateurs who aren't performing at your level, then just like go pro. Like, I don't know. If you're going to have that attitude where you're just going to look down on anyone else who is below you, then like, just you do you. Like, you go. I
don't know that they're looking down on someone that's below you. I just think that they're like hyper intense and they're hyper aware of like this, I'm going to use this annoying word, but narrative of like what the amateur should be and how they should portray themselves.
Right.
And so I'm not sure that they're like looking down on us or anyone who's like less than them, but I think that they're looking down upon the idea that we're not, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I just feel like, I guess it just, and we can talk about, you know, I think there's two versions of this story. There's the, you know, the Facebook post and the Podcast Amateur Lounge, which we're going to read the comments here in a second. And then there was the podcast that made an entire podcast about it responded to our podcast.
Yes.
And, you know, I think to respond to the podcast, I think I don't even really want to be honest. Like, I don't really want to give a full response because I don't want to give them the opportunity or the credit, because I think they were truly just mean. I think that it was just, you know, when you start making fun of like people's voices or, you know, I
definitely
think
the mimicking in the immature voice, like, that just like really, I don't want to say it hurt me, but it just hurt me to see that other amateurs are out there doing that to other people. It's just like
mean girl vibes, you know, like, and if that's what they were going for, like, I think they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
But there were some positive things that were said, but like, I think that this community is so small that it's so, I mean, how many equestrian podcasts are there? Like, there's not that many.
No.
And so somebody sent that to me in, I think,
seconds.
Yeah. Within 2 hours, I knew about it since it was live. One of our listeners sent it to me. And so,
not even our friend.
Not
like,
even
not even our close friend, like a listener of our podcast, a serious listener sent it to us, and it was within seconds we were listening to it.
Yeah. And so, it's just so disappointing, because they even say at the end of the podcast, like, if you
they don't find us.
Yeah, if you're the podcast we're making fun of, they said those words specifically.
They said that?
Yes.
I just like blacked out.
Oh, no.
I can't believe this is
I'll
happening.
play it for you. I have a screen recording of it. And they said, if you are the podcast that we are making fun of, I hope you never find this. And I was like, I found it in 2 hours because a listener sent it to me.
Well, so they knew they were being mean.
100%. They knew they were being mean. And so I invited them on the show, which that invitation still stands.
We would love to have you guys
come
on the show.
And explain yourself. And not that you have to, of course. Like, nobody has to explain themselves. But
careful, you might get in trouble because you're on your phone.
Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm on my phone. Also, we can talk about that too. Like, why I had my phone that day, because I thought I could have cancer. And I thought that random number that called me.
Yeah. She was waiting for
I was waiting for a doctor to call me. So
should she have edited it out? Yeah.
Yeah, I could have edited it out.
But
and
we edit all of our own podcasts. And by we, I mean she does it all. And she spends hours and hours and hours editing these podcasts. And when you run your own business and have your own company and are editing multiple other medias, you guys cut some slack. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I also didn't want to come off as like a victim, because I really don't give a shit. Like, I truly don't. And like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's totally fine. But if you think that that's going to gain you any sort of anything in this community, I think you're sadly mistaken. That people don't really like Mean Girl vibes. And I just don't think it's going to give you the response that you want, because again, we got sent that immediately, and the listener was very disappointed and had some words about that podcast specifically. Yeah. So, I don't think that like you having, like, if you need content to talk about, I don't recommend just like shitting on other people. Yeah. Like, I think that that's like not not a good look. No offense. So I don't know, but I can play you. I'm trying to find it. I screen recorded it. And of course, I'm not gonna be able to find it right now. Oh, here it is.
I don't know if you, I sent you all the YouTube, but there's this content creators. They're KB Media Equine. And they, actually, I was very impressed. They created some like fake like reality shows on their YouTube page. It's like very office style. But anyway, they posted their own podcast, and the title was or is Are Adult Amateurs the Problem in the Horse World? No,
that's not being very dedicated, but
no,
but this has nothing to do with being like, oh, it's windy out, I'm so scared.
I also don't like the wind.
No one likes the wind, but like
Molly's always going to see the other side, and
you're not. But
no, I know she's not.
The whole thing of they had a quote, and I wrote down the quote because it angered me. They had a quote in this video. It said, "It takes." I'm going to say it in this voice. This is how I feel.
Oh my God, we're going to get flamed if they ever find us.
It takes a special person. It takes a special person to have a barn full of amateurs.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
What?
What do you mean? They mentioned this lady.
It might take a special person to have a barn full of beginners.
And like, don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap. If someone is like making fun of adult amateurs, like call them out. Stand up.
Bully them back. Bully them back.
Yeah, if you see insecurity, pounce.
Pounce. Attack.
Get rid of them.
Destroy them.
Bury them.
They're out. They're out. Fade on sight. God.
Please don't come for us.
And follow us on all social channels at the Three Stride Podcast. Unless you're the podcast that we just made fun of, I hope you never find us. I hope you never find us. And if you do, I'm so sorry.
Please don't come for us.
Us saying something like that on the podcast or on an episode is not us saying like blanket statements about every amateur out there. And I think normal common sense and adults who are adults know that.
Yeah.
Like not every statement is just this blanket statement to say all amateurs are like that.
Yeah. And I think that we've made it really clear on our show because we've had Carly Durst on.
Yeah.
She talked about, I just listened to that episode actually recently and talking about, what was it? The stage fright drug.
Yeah. Propranolol.
Propranolol.
Yeah.
And, I don't think, like we talked about, drugs, we've talked, not drugs, but like things that you can take to help your nerves. We talked about alcohol, CBD gummies, like all of these different things that you could help yourself because that is the whole basis of our show. Like our show isn't for like high school kids.
Yeah.
Like
it's not for high school kids and it's not for people that are like top tier.
Right. Like,
we're just trying to be average listeners that are amateurs, that are out here doing what we're doing. That's not, that's relatable. Like, let's be relatable. Let's not just talk about how we can jump the meter 30 on our horses that are imported from Europe. Like, let's like talk about everything. Let's talk about, our 2-foot riders are, adult beginners to all the way to our Grand Prix riders. Like there is a mix of everything in between, and being an amateur that's nervous and needs something, like a propranolol or a glass of wine before they go into the biggest class of their career as an equestrian. Or we're talking about, these top tier Grand Prix riders that have this like very regimented, pre-show, no drugs, very serious, or no alcohol, very serious riders. Like it doesn't make the 2-foot rider, the adult beginner, less serious. It just makes it different, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I just that just irked me so much that just the overall the wind comment, like I don't ride in the wind. I'm like, first of all, you're in California.
That's not what it sounded like.
Yeah,
it was like,
you ride in the wind. You can't ride in the wind.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, first of all, we live in Georgia. We actually have seasons, and especially right now, the springtime, like winter going into spring. Terrible time to ride. It's windy. It's cold. It's cold one day. It's hot another day. It's just sheer wind. It's rainy. It's dreary.
Like jumps are truly falling over.
Yeah, like at our last horse show, jumps were falling over. Yeah. And so, I think that it's just so judgmental, like just so judgy, and we have enough judgment from everything else in our life.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just have a space where we can feel supported and we can feel like, okay, if I feel like it's a safety issue for me, especially with my horse who's like,
yeah, he will light right out from under you.
Yeah, he'll be under you for 1 second and then all of a sudden you're just in the air. So if it's my decision to say I don't ride when it's really windy out because it's a safety issue, why does that matter to you?
Good on you.
Like,
it doesn't make you less of an amateur.
Right.
It doesn't make you less of a horse person.
Right. And so I don't know, like that whole situation, just like, obviously I felt like they just really needed content to talk about us and to talk about, what happened in the amateur lounge. And we can read some of those comments now because
while you're looking those up, I just want to make a comment that we are both career equestrian members of the community. We both have horses. We both have farms. We both take care of our own horses. We call the vet. We call the farrier when they're needed. We do all these things. We both have trailers. We both trailer our horses to every horse show. We have been around our community as far as in Georgia and then rated shows, local shows, whatever. Like we have been in this community for a long time, and we're not scared to ride. We're not scared to go out there and show. We're not inept. We're not like, oh, I don't know. Like my horse looks a little funny. Maybe I should we're not like just these bonkers horse people that just don't know what we're talking about.
But like also if we were, who the fuck is anyone to say like it's a problem?
I just think there's a lot of judgment.
I don't care.
So
there
much
shouldn't
judgment out
be.
there.
I know that there shouldn't be. And I don't feel like that's fair. Like, And of course, I think behind closed doors, when you are talking with your friends and having, conversations that are not public, I definitely think, yes, conversations can happen and you are, relating yourself, or it could go either way. You and I have had so many conversations where I am super hard on myself and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, and I'm really insecure and I'm like internal and I'm like really struggling, or, it's the opposite direction, I'm like really confident, or like maybe I'm like, feeling my oats and like feeling good. But I think at the end of the day, like, I don't think we have to sit here and defend ourselves. Like, I don't think we have to say like, oh, well, we're doing all these things. Like, if you watched any of our other content, you would know that. And that's what some of the people in the comments were saying, that like, if you, like, I've been following Kelly, or I've been, watching the show, and like, they're not like that, like you guys are getting like, and that's totally fine. And it's acceptable that people find one piece of content and completely judge you off of that one piece of content. And you have to know that going into anything, right? Like, when you're putting yourself out there, people can find that one piece of content and they're going to judge the shit out of you. And that's fine. But like, I don't really care that, I think it was just like it felt like more of like a personal attack.
Your opinion is that no matter what kind of horse person you are, no one should be out in public just like getting down on other amateurs.
100%
is what you're saying.
Absolutely
like,
not.
I feel a little defensive for us.
No.
Which, I mean, you're just like, it doesn't matter. I could be,
If I was, like, who is it to you? Like, what is it to you if I, like, well, I mean, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true.
Like, why are you, like, judging me? Like, if I was that person, which I'm not, but if I was, why is it any of your business?
Or why does it matter?
Why does it matter? And if you, again, like, listening to the show, it's not that way. Like,
no, that's not. And a lot of people refused to listen to it based
like,
on the title, which is very interesting because that was not the message at all that we shared.
Right.
The message was very much things that we personally have experienced, and in the show world, in the equestrian world, in the amateur world, where we feel judged by other people, by professionals, where, we get a bad rap from being amateurs. And is it true? Is it what we should be, titled as?
Right.
It was a question. Are we the problem? No, we're not. And that's answered in the podcast that we continue to talk about, was we're not the problem. Like, we are the backbone of the sport most of the time financially. We're the ones that are buying these horses. We're the ones that are out there being able to show. I mean, juniors are not. They have their families. And then when they turn 18, they become adults and they get into the workforce and they buy horses and they financially support the sport. That's what we talk about in the podcast.
Yeah.
But people are so hung up on the title that they refuse to listen.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny that now we're talking about it like full circle moment, that like now we're like again kind of reiterating everything that we talked about in the first like, episode. So, but anyways, like I'm going to read a couple of these comments because I really don't want to like get too far into this. Like, I mean, we've already talked about it for so long. But this is from Emma. She says, I hate this.
I hate this.
I hate this. Why do we stereotype amateurs as stupid, incompetent, alcoholic idiots who can't possibly manage to own/ride a horse without their godsend trainer to help them? Hunter jumper seems to be one of the few disciplines with this ingrained odd notion that amateurs are inept. Even if this headline is clickbait, it's infuriating. So
why hunter jumpers? Like, there's probably people out there that don't know anything in multiple disciplines.
Yes, I agree.
But the hunters is not the problem. It's every sport has somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. But like, we are not, that is not what the episode was about.
Yeah. So Kathleen was probably the top contributor to, and of course, if you guys want to look this up, you can find it on the Plaid Horse Adult Amateur Lounge on Facebook. Shout out Piper Clem.
Love her.
So Kathleen said, we really need to stop funneling all amateurs into this one group of semi-inept, dramatic, scared, uneducated horse people. I've said it multiple times of how many of us have had so much education, just as much education as the pros, but choose to work in different fields and ride for the sake of horses and not for making money. There are funny anecdotes to be had and the typical Amy situations, but stop dumbing us down. Please just stop.
I just don't think that we're dumbing us down.
Yeah, like
we're not dumb. Like you and I are not dumb.
Yeah,
like we know how to manage these animals. And she even said that there's room for that kind of.
That's the thing that I found so interesting about this whole thing is that like people were mad about it, but they were like, oh, but like I do that. And I'm like, what? Then what are you like, why are you writing this like long ass like paragraph?
Yeah, because they think that we're just like pulling everybody into this category of if you're an amateur, you automatically don't know what the hell you're doing and you need your godsend trainer, which I mean, we do a lot of stuff without.
Honestly, and I think if you're a trainer, I would love to get your perspective because I'm sure that you are in the comments, like reading that and you're just like, I'm probably staying 10 million miles away from that. But I can imagine that getting a trainer's perspective who's had like a really long and healthy career would be so interesting because I do believe that the stereotype comes from trainers. I think that that's where it stems from. And, but for some reason, us amateurs right now, we're all fighting amongst amateurs. We're not.
Which I don't get because there is someone on TikTok who, her entire platform of TikTok is making fun of amateurs.
Yeah.
And her students.
Yeah.
So it's like, it may start from pros, and that's what our last episode was.
Yeah, she's a professional.
She's a professional.
Yeah.
And she's literally making fun of, and I love her content because it's effing funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's her getting on these horses that she's pretending to try as one of her amateur clients, and she's like bebopping around on the back of the horse, and it's satirical. It's funny. It makes me laugh, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, like. I'd buy a horse like that.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
If you can get on and like be, you know, a little whatever, beginnery on a really nice horse and the horse puts up with it. Yeah, that's what I want. Like, it doesn't make me not competent.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's stemming from a pro. So yes, our entire episode was, do pros see us this way? Why? And we are not all like that.
Yeah.
Like if people dove in and listened, that's exactly what we were addressing.
100%. And I guess I was kind of debating on making this episode, but I'm glad we did because I do feel like it is a good and important topic to remind people that, one, have a good laugh.
Have a good laugh. We're jumping literal animals
over sticks.
Like their brains are afraid of a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the shit is not that deep.
It's not that deep.
And then when you just start coming after us and like coming after us, like our character, like our voices, like
the making fun of people's voices. That's where I drew the line. Like
it's like so. Its mission was not accomplished I don't know what the mission was, but I mean, the comments, I think people just
they judged the book by its cover.
100%. And that's okay.
That's fine. I get that. I probably have had similar responses to other things where I'm like, okay, like that's messed up. Like the title alone is like, ew, I'm not going to watch that, or I'm not going to read that book. Like truly.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, it's not what you think it is. Like, okay, I'm going to give an example. My friends are telling me all about these like books that are about fairies and dragons and stuff. That book series, I should know, I read it, but like, so my friends are telling me about it and they're like, oh, there's these like fairies and they're all like fucking and like, anyways, there's like this whole series about these fairies or whatever. And my friends are sitting there and they're telling me about this book of fairies. And I'm like, I'm not freaking reading that.
Yeah.
That sounds so terrible. And like, who would read that? And then I loved it. Obviously my brain is like, this was pre-child and my brain has wiped clean since then. But
Reset.
but truly, like, judging a book by its cover, I was like, ew, who would read that? And it
Yeah.
is so good. And so, yes, like, your title might have been triggering to some people or might have made people think that it was going to be derogatory towards the adult amateur. But one of our listeners commented and was like, have you guys actually listened to it?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no, I'm not listening to it because of the title. Ugh.
And like that Kathleen girl, she was like so hellbent. She was like, like multiple people said, like, no, you just need to listen to it. And she
Yeah.
was like refusing. Just
Literally
like,
refused.
And I'm like, you know, it's whatever. Like, it's not that, like, don't listen
Yeah.
to it. I don't care. Like, it's not that serious. Like, we do this show surely for you guys to
Yeah.
have a space where you feel heard and you feel related. And like, that's really the only reason why we do it,
Yeah.
you know? So like, if you don't want to listen to it, by all means, you don't have to, you know?
Yeah.
And we always appreciate the critiques and the input for sure.
Yeah, I don't think she'll ever answer the phone during an episode again. God forbid.
I mean, and we introduced ourselves, so hopefully you know who we are now.
Yeah, I am Alexis.
If you also
because everybody knew who Kelly was, but nobody knew who I
but
was.
also
which is
like
fine,
if
but-
you're gonna talk about us on your podcast, maybe you should like do some
Know my
research
name.
and know our names. Like, it's not that hard to find. Like, you can literally just like, I have a website. Like, you can literally just
she's like pretty much.
you can like look it up. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that serious.
She's the real deal. I got why you guys didn't know my name. It's fine.
It's not that hard to find though.
I'm not like a big, social media gal. But
yeah, you're getting better though.
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I hate drama and I hate it. I hate like
Yeah,
our
it's-
names being in other people's mouths in such a like strong negative vibe.
Yeah.
It's not really like you can definitely like combat that a little bit better than I can. I'm a little bit more sensitive and I don't love.
Yeah, no,
I
and
don't
that's
love it.
totally fair. I mean, I think that no matter what, I think it like the result could have gone so much better. Like, I think if they would have handled it a little bit better, like it could have come off like they said a lot of positive things,
they
you
did.
know? But it towards the end, like when you get a group together like that, I think it's just tendency just to kind of spiral.
Yeah.
And I think it just got a little spirally. I don't know if their intention was to be negative, like that negative out of the gate. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, their podcast is good. They have good episodes.
Yeah,
It
they
just,
do.
Like in general, but that episode was it was a little unfair and a little out of character for, who we can be as adult amateurs and the presence that we're trying to
Out of
be.
character for the community.
Out of character for the community. And I
Yeah.
think that we're trying to we need to be a good example for the community of how to support each other. And
Yeah.
that felt very out of character.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I'd love to have them on the show.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys want to talk about it and
If you guys want to hear them come on the show, like please drop us some comments
Yeah.
and like get them engaged
Yeah.
to come and talk to us.
yeah, for sure. So, all right, well, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled content and
Yes.
stop talking about this
Yes.
because we
Not
said our
worth it.
piece about it and we support the community. We're here
Stop using the word inept.
Yeah, we're not inept,
Lovingly.
okay? Like, honestly, like, come over.
Yeah, come
like,
hang out with us.
Come hang out. We'll, I can ride. Am I the best rider? Like, no, but, I mean, I can stay on.
Just
so.
come hang out.
Come
honestly.
hang out, clean stalls, do
Yeah.
all the fun things.
Come bathe our retired horses, please.
All right, catch you guys on the flip side. Like and follow, subscribe.